Good day everyone, this is Miss Jai and we are now on the fourth quarter, and today for the first lesson we are going to talk about how to plan your research paper. Okay? Now for this lesson we will be answering the following questions. First, what is a research? And what is the structure of a research paper? It is very important to know the structure of a research paper when you are planning to have a research. So, in college, you will be asked to write many research. That is why you really need to know how to write a research paper. And yes, this lesson will give you an overview on how most high school and college teachers or professors expect you to write a basic research paper. Before conducting any research, researchers should develop a research plan. The research plan should include the overall purpose of the research and how the outputs will be used and communicated. Now, developing a research plan, it helps researcher to organize his ideas in a form whereby it will be possible for him to look for flaws and inadequacies, if any. It provides an inventory of what must be done and which materials have to be collected as a preliminary step. It is a document that can be given to others for comment. Again, in this lesson, this is just an overview. Do not expect much, because when you are planning to master research, it will take a lot of time. And yeah, but with the help of research planning, you might see the bigger picture of what was it like writing a research. Now, what is a research? Research, the first thing that you should do is to learn the main purpose of research, or what truly is a research, the very definition of a research. The word research is from an old French word, searcher, means to seek or search. And also we have the prefix re, means again. Now, therefore, when we say research, it is defined as intensive search with the purpose of becoming certain. It is a systematic investigation into reality to gain knowledge, and since it is systematic, it follows a structure. So what is the structure of a research paper? Now, the next thing that you will do is to familiarize yourself with the structure of a research paper. The structure that I will be showing to you is the structure that is commonly used in most high schools or schools in the Philippines. Now, the main parts of a composition is the introduction, body, and conclusion. But to be specific, we have abstract, introduction, it is where you have your thesis statement, literature review, or we used to call it review of related literature, or RRL, methodology, results, discussion, conclusion, reference, and appendices. Okay, let's get to know each part. So how do you write each part? As for the abstract, it is where you briefly introduce your reader to the aims of your study, the methodology, results, and findings. It's like a summary of a body of information. And then, to write this one, you should answer the following. Why did you do this study or project? What did you do and how? What did you find? What do your findings mean? Okay. As for the introduction, your introduction or the thesis statement should state a clear overall purpose of the study, often framed in a discussion of the need of a researcher, is satisfying. Now, to define the the introduction of your research should have the brief description of the topic. The statement talks about why the topic is worth researching for, why it could be found interesting, and you should also state the objectives of your research, the scope of the study, and as an overview of the rest of the paper. It's like you give a brief background of relevant theory and practice for your topic. And then for the RRL, or literature review, sorry about that. Now, all you have to do is to summarize what conclusions have been reached in the research literature and whether different writers agree or not. Many sources you have to have a lot of related literature that you can use to connect with your main title, main thesis statement. And for you to do that, you can use the 4 guide questions. What is the present state of knowledge regarding the topic under consideration? How are the studies related to the one being proposed? What is the quality of the studies reviewed? And how will the proposed study contribute to the existing literature? Now, all you have to do for this one is summarize everything with the use of many sources and highlight main issue and controversies around the problem. Then we have the methodology. Now, in methodology, all you have to do is demonstrate that you are aware of the research methods. What are the methods you are going to use? Justify it. Research the method and approach you have taken or your study. And explain and justify the method of data collection and analysis. And then for the conclusion, you will sum up your findings and highlight the significance of the outcomes of your study. And then you will also discuss here the limitations of your study and indicate where further research is needed. Now, in the conclusion, there are 2 things that you can find. We have the results. It presents the findings of your research in an orderly manner using heading planned in your methodology or headings arising from patterns found in the research. And in discussions, you will show your understanding of what your data suggests. And then we have the references. It is used to list alphabetically all the reference materials that you have used and then you have cited in the text of the report. And then referencing your paper, there are 3 ways that you can reference, and on the next lesson I will show you some sort of how you're going to do referencing. And then appendices. In appendices, all you have to do is present relevant details such as letters to participants and organizations, presents what questionnaires did you use, what surveys did you use, and other relevant instruments. And also you will present relevant documents like reports, policy, historical documents, or your the consents that you have used in conducting the research. So, as what you have noticed, it's really a lot to take in as of this moment, but when you get to encounter this one in senior high school and in college, you'll probably get used to it. Now, where do you begin your research? First thing you have to do is to choose a subject that interests you, not too broad, not too difficult one, for which you can find materials from popular magazines or books aimed at general reading, and that has some interest for the average reader. Now, a separate lesson will help you understand how will you choose a subject, but for now, this is just a short definition of how will you choose your subject or topic for your research. And then you will gather, now that you have the subject and your title, it's time for you to gather your materials or the information needed for your research. You can gather your materials from the following sources. And then, once you've gathered everything, your information, the information you needed for your research, it's time for you to create your outline. This is how a common outline looks like. And yes, have some ideas of topics in which you will be needing information. Begin your reading with a few general articles like this one, and then try to anticipate the important questions your paper will have to answer. Jot down what it seems to be the major divisions of the subject. And again, I have here an example of what was a real example of an outline looks like when someone conducted a research. You may pause this one for better understanding. So this is where I will end the lesson. I hope that you've learned something from me today about what is research and what are the structure of the research that you have to keep in mind, so that whenever you go to college or even in senior high school, you have the idea what are the different terms is being used in conducting our research. So again, this is your teacher, Teacher Jai. Thank you and see you again.